group of politics running for elections with me, I decided to be a little shocking, which shocked my father a lot. And I distributed condoms in the streets, and it worked. But the condom in the street was, it had a meaning, because I wanted to tell Colombians that as we protect ourselves against HIV with condoms, and at that moment HIV was a very, we should protect ourselves to the HIV in society, which for me was corruption. So I was a condom. They should vote for me to protect themselves from that. So it was kind of humor. And people got the thing, and so they voted for me, and I got elected, and then I was confronted to a major problem, which was that the president that was elected at that moment with me had been financed by the drug cartels. And I thought that Colombians should know the truth. And it led me to a very hard moment in my life, because we received threats. I had to send my children away. And then I was elected to the Senate. And I had the biggest votation at that time for the Senate. And afterwards, I decided that I wanted to present myself for the presidential campaign, and that's how I was kidnapped in that campaign.
It's interesting because we're in your book. Sorry, I won't do it again. In your book, when you talk about your captivity, I sense that in order to organize your life and survive, some of the strategies that you used as a politician perhaps help you create this world in which there was some sort of order out of your chaos. So am I pushing it a little too much?
Well, I think that you are what you are, in a way. And it's difficult to just change the way you act, because that's part of your character and it's part of what you are. And I think because I was probably very stubborn and I had this kind of very strong character or whatever, I think I was kind of a problem maker to the FARC, and so I had a rough time. It was very difficult for me. I think that 6.5 years of captivity had an effect on my character. I think I'm better now, I'm more easygoing. I can, be better behaved. But it was a process, you see, of just looking at yourself with some perspective, and every day I remember I would be thinking, okay, what did I do wrong today? Perhaps I shouldn't have answered this way. Perhaps I should have reacted in another way to this situation. Perhaps I should have been more available for my companions here or there. So there was this kind of, just looking to what was my behavior all the time.
A lot of the characteristics of your narrative and your story, in a way, is the prisoner of war mentality of all these circular, concentric circles of hope and despair. And you really describe it very well in the book, and I do recommend that you read the book because it's quite poignant. But I was struck by these constant circles, and you start your book by one of the times when you escaped, and we almost thought, and you thought, that was it. You had achieved it. I won't give it away, but it starts over and over again. You give away your possessions, but you think you're finally going to liberate it, and then you're in a boat that takes you further in. So do you want to talk a little bit about this prisoner of war mindset?
Okay, yeah, I think it's interesting. Somewhere in the book I write that I had the feeling that time was a circle because it repeated itself. And I think that in captivity, the relationship with time changed dramatically. When I'm in, like here, today, in the free world, in control of my life, the days just pass so quick. I mean, I just feel that I just woke up and it's the end of the day. You know, it's like this feeling of a very intense activity. But when I look back and I look at the year, I see a year with many things that had happened, with many accomplishments, and so it doesn't come that quick. It's like the years accumulate in a slow pace. It's exactly the opposite in captivity. In captivity, the days linger forever. They are endless. And you don't know how to just feel those days with things that could be rewarding in any way to you. Because the drama is that that time that you feel that you're wasting, you will never get it back. And so you are confronted to those days that you don't have anything to do but wait, and at the same time this guilt trip on yourself of feeling that you're just wasting your life. But the horrible thing of this is that the years add up very quick, and you have the impression of every time losing more and more and more time. I remember when I just realized I was in my first year of captivity. I thought, oh my God, how did this happen? A year? Have been a year here? And then 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. And then I could just envision what I have missed. The whole adolescence of my children. The years with my mother that was aging. I mean, when I left her, she was 65, and I came back, she was 70 something. That was very hard for me to just, you know. And I could see what I have lost, like the happenings in the world. I remember, for example, feeling. I remember when the Pope died, feeling, oh my God, those are the big happenings in the world, and it was a world that I couldn't just reach. So I think that the greatest torture in captivity is this hopeless feeling that you don't control time. And then one day I realized that time was so precious to all of us because there's death somewhere in our path. If we were eternal, we could just forget. But because we're not eternal, then time begins the treasure. And that's why I decided that my time, once I would be free, would be devoted to the people I love the most. Because I think that time is what the best gift you can give to the people you love is your time. Because you don't have it, it's not endless. It's those moments you share with your loved ones are the moments that you won't be able to get back again. And the day you will die, because we will all die, those are the memories they will cherish. And this is the great gift you can give to the ones you love. And sometimes we forget this, because we are so much into our work and into our things that we forget to give our precious time to the ones we love.
Does that include the time that you felt that the time you would dedicate to change your country? Do you find that time behind you and maybe not as important now? I mean, it's a way, do you regret that all that time went into becoming a condom or whatever?
I think there is some of a new thinking, new priorities in my life. And I think that of course, my dreams are there, and I would love to change many things, especially in Colombia, around me, in my family. I mean, there are, you know, many things that I would like to contribute to make it better. But I also think that there are ways that you can, I mean, politics perhaps is not the only way to make things better. And I have to confess that I didn't like at all the Colombian politics. I always was like forcing myself to do something that I was not comfortable in. And now that I'm free, I don't want to go into politics that I don't like. I feel that's something I'm very, you know, adamant and just not making concessions in things that I don't consider right. So when people ask me if I want to get back to politics, I said no, but at the same time, who knows? You know, miracles can happen, and perhaps one day we will have a space into politics where things will be different, and the struggle to power won't bring the worst in people, which is what happens today, but perhaps will bring the best. And, well, that would be a great place to work.
I think, yes, that makes total sense. Well, I think that the publishing of your book is a political act too. It's probably also a rite of passage for you, but it's also for us, the readers, it's a political act because it makes us understand much more about the country and about the government and the desire for change, and the FARC, which maybe we need to do to find out a little more. For us, we're not quite clear of their power and their intent. And also, why were you so valuable to them?
Well, I'm not very comfortable with the idea that the book is a political, you know, act, because it's not. I mean,
It's what?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's a very human. It's a human experience. It's a reflection on human condition, because it was important for me to bring the reader to where it had been, because since I came back to freedom, first it was impossible for me to talk about this with my children or with my mom, and every time I tried to do it, I just can't do it. The emotions are too intense, and I have no control on my emotions, so I couldn't really talk about this, so I decided to write. But I think also one of the things that struck me when I came back was this kind of very harsh judgment over everything. And I think I think that this is a valuable experience if we just take the time to think how we would act in similar conditions. Because we expect from others to be heroes. I was expecting from myself to be a hero, and I was everything but not a hero. And we were not heroes in this jungle. I mean, we were chained by the neck to a tree. I mean, we were humiliated. We lived many cruel moments, and we were just what we could be.